Good morning, guys. Myself, Professor Vijay Raundal. I'm taking your DME 1 lectures. We have gone through, I think, 6 lectures by today, and we have gone through some basics of design of machine elements. Some basic things what we learned is like what are the materials we use in the design. We should have some background information about materials we will be needing. Then also we have gone through basic stresses. What are the basic stresses we encounter in design, and how to use those stresses to do our calculation. Then we have lastly we have seen different kind of cycle or the design cycle for all this cycle is used for all machine elements. We have seen that in the last lecture. Now today we'll actually we have gone through the design of quarter joint also, so we know the formulas. For this lecture it is assumed that the formulas and the procedure for design of quarter joint is known to you guys. Okay, if it is not known, that's please take a look at my previous lectures. But today we'll take an example numerical of design of a quarter joint. Okay, so basically how the quarter joint is designed is like we have discussed the procedure in the previous lecture, but now we will actually take an example from the university paper. We'll take actual load, and for that load now how to design. Basically what is design? Design is nothing but basically trying to find out the dimensions and draw those dimensions on a piece of paper or on drawing sheet and give that as a whatever the deliverable or for the manufacturing. Giving that dimensions and diagram is your basically output of your design. So at the end of any problem, we will be finalizing the dimensions. So in our quarter joint, basically you guys know that what is quarter joint. It is used to join two rods with the help of a quarter pin. So one end is called as socket end, another end is called as pivot, right? So those two are clubbed together and they have a slot in between, base shape, and a base shaped quarter is inserted. Okay. Now what happens? The load, it is basically not for rotary motion. It is only for the what you can say axial loads. Okay, tensile or compressive. So one end will be pulling socket or your spigot, and will be having a tensile or compressive force. That load will be transferred to the quarter. We have gone through this in the previous lecture, and then this quarter pin will transfer that load to the other end. Okay, that is how the quarter works. Now design means what? What we have to design in the quarter? So basically the diameter of the main rod, the rod which is carrying the load, diameter of that rod. Okay. Next is there are different diameters of the socket. D1, D2 are the diameters of the outer and inner diameter of the socket. D3 is the collar of the spigot end, and D4 is the collar of the socket. So these diameters we have to finalize. Then there A, B, C. You guys know what is ABC. Is the A is the end and gap of the quarter. Then the width of the quarter is B, and C is the other end to the end of the collar of the socket. So we have to find out A, B, C, thickness of the quarter and different diameters. So at the end of this numerical, we will be having those dimensions ready with us. Now to do all this, we have to take an example, because we now know the formula and the procedure for design of a quarter joint. So we are going to take an example now. So the example I have taken, so we have to design a quarter joint, basically which is used to join two steel rods. Okay, and they are subjected to a tensile load. It may be a tensile or compressive, it doesn't matter, only direction changes, and it is carrying a load of 50 kN. Now the material they have given is having a yield stress of 400 Newton per mm square, and factor of safety, now it is factor of safety is 4 for quarter, and factor of safety is 6 for your spigot and other socket. Now why the factor of safety is more? Because you want to have your spigot and your socket to be more having more strength. They should be strong, because having a weak your quarter is better, because if anything fails, you want your quarter to be failed, right? Because you can take out the quarter and put a new quarter, and your machine will keep going on. Okay, so your design should be such a way that failure parts should be easily replaceable. So that's why factor of safety is taken 4 for quarter. So factor of safety is less means what? Design is less strength, having less strength. That means what? It will fail first compared to your socket and spigot. So factor of safety is 4 for quarter, and factor of safety for socket and spigot it is 6. Now for these given specifications, we will try to design the your okay. Let's try to solve this problem. Now we know few things. We know factor of safety, we know SYT, we know load P. So we'll note it down first. What we know? We know first is P is, I want you to know first P is given as 5 or is 50. What? P is given as 50, right? Yes, 50. 50 into 10 raised to 3 Newton. It was kilonewton. I will directly convert it to Newton. Then SYT was it was 500. SYT was 400 Newton per mm square. So we don't need to worry about that. It is Newton and mm square. So everything whatever dimensions we are going to get, we are going to get in mm square. Factor of safety for quarter was 4. Factor of safety for other was 6. Okay. So these are the factor of safety. Now with these given specifications, we will do the design of the quarter. Now first, before going ahead with the all design process, we need to find out the limiting stresses. Limiting stresses of all components, like limiting stress for quarter, limiting stress for socket, limiting stresses for your spigot. Because those are the stresses with which you will do your design. This is not the stress. This is an ill stress, right? So with this we have to find out the limiting stress. So first what we do, we try to find out the limiting stress for your quarter and your. Now first let's find out the limiting stresses for spigot. Spigot end, spigot and your socket. What is the limiting stress for sigma T is sigma T tensile stress. What is limiting stress now? SYT upon factor of safety is what? Is in this case it is 6. So it is 400 divided by 6. So 6 is 36. Again 66.66 Newton per is what? Newton per mm square. Okay. Now sigma C is what do you say? It is basically twice of SYT upon factor of safety. So it becomes the double of this is 133, right? 133. 133.33 Newton per mm square. Okay. And then your allowable shear stress. Shear stress is half of your sigma T. So it is formula is 0.5 half of SYT upon factor of safety. So it basically 0.5 into 400 upon 6. It becomes 33.33 Newton per mm square. So these are the limiting stresses, right? Let me just verify as perfect. These are the limits. So for designing of your spigot and your socket, you will take allowable tensile stress is 66, allowable compressive stress is twice of that 133, and allowable shear stress is 33 Newton per meter square. Now similarly, we will find out limiting stresses for, see this is, now you have 3 parts, okay, your this thing has 3 parts, your this socket, right, your quarter and your spigot. A spigot will have a slot in it, this thing has a slot in it, right. So for this and this we have find out the limiting. Now for the quarter we will try to find out the limiting stresses. Now for limiting stresses for, because quarter has a different factor of safety, so sigma T will be SYT upon factor of safety, which is basically 400 upon 4 equals 100 Newton per mm square. Okay, and tau is in this case it is 0.5 SYT upon factor of safety. So it becomes half of that is 50 Newton per mm square. Let me just verify the numbers so that I don't want to make any mistakes. Okay, so it is 100 and So for designing of quarter, means all dimensional quarter, we use the stress, limiting stress, tensile stress as 100 and allowable shear stress as 50 Newton per mm square. So now you have the limiting stresses and we have the formula. Now we can go ahead and find out all the dimensions one by one. Okay. So this is we'll do slowly step by step. Now we know all these specific values. So we'll keep those in mind. I have those. You will have those in your notebook. So keep those ready for the calculation. Now first. Now what is the first step? Now first is the finding out the dimensions. Now what? Very first thing we will be doing is now finding out the rod. Now the rod carrying this load P, the basic rod. Yeah, assume that this is the rod. This is carrying load P. Now what is the formula for that? We have seen that formula for that is, or what you can say, stresses for this formula was D is equal to 4P upon pi sigma t. D is equal to 4P upon pi sigma t. Right? This is the formula for this. Right? Now, how this formula came? Let's we have gone through this calculation of the formula in the previous lecture. But again, I will just see now. This is the load carrying by this. This is normal load. After this, we have socket and we have the quarter and then we have pivot and all that. So this is the carry, but load is P. Now design this. What is the diameter? Assume that it simply fails. This thing fails because of a normal tensile failure, right? So if that is the case, then what is the area? Area in the cross section area is pi by 4 d square, right? So what is stress? Sigma t is equal to P by load upon area, right? P by is pi by 4 d square. So what is your d? Your d square is 4P upon pi sigma t, right? So your d is root of 4P upon pi sigma t. You got it? You got it? This is the same formula. So we got this is actually I explained this step in the previous lecture, but I'm just repeating it so that you know. Now this is the diameter of the rod. So first step is to finding out the diameter of the rod. Now we know limiting stress for the rod, socket and pivot, all of that, right? And we know P. So we'll simply put the values there and we'll see what is the basically, we'll try to put the values of P and values of sigma t and we'll try to see what is the ultimate result we get. So what is the value of P? Now D is equal to 4 into 15 to 10 to 2. This was the P, 50 kilonewton pi into sigma t. What is the sigma t? Let me just sigma t we got is 66.67 Newton per mm square. This is what we got, right? And root of that. So calculating this thing, you will get diameter of this thing is 30.90 mm. 30.90 mm. So, but this diameter we cannot get in real life. So we'll approximate it. So diameter for your design is 32 mm. So diameter of the rod for your design is 32 mm. Okay. This is the very first step we did. Now second step is the thickness of the quarter. What is the second step? First step is we completed the first step, which is diameter of rod. What is the symbol we get? D. Second thing is the thickness of the quarter. Thickness of quarter, which is T. Right? So that is the next step. Thickness of the quarter. If we use empirical relation, we can calculate, but we use empirical relation for that. And using the empirical relation, we'll find out the T. Then we'll use that for the calculation. So empirical relation is what? T is equal to 0.31 D. So T is equal to 0.31 and we got D as 32. So it becomes, I think, 32, it becomes, I think, 99.92 mm. So we will use that T as 10 mm diameter. So, thickness is 10 millimeters. So thickness of the quarter we got is 10 millimeter, right? So now we use this thickness and the diameter we got of the rod in the next few steps. Okay. Now we have to find out the diameter of the spigot, that is D2. What is diameter of the spigot? Is internal diameter of the socket. Now you see socket then your spigot, right? And then you put a quarter in between. So your socket has outer diameter and inner diameter, and in between your spigot sets. So inner diameter of your socket is equal to the diameter of your spigot. So we'll find out next stage as diameter of spigot. That is symbol is D2, right? Diameter of this is D2. Now what is the formula for that? P is equal to pi by 4 D2 square minus D2T. P is equal to pi by 4 D2 square minus D2T D2T. Now this is the formula for this design of the what you can say design of the D2, the diameter of the spigot. Now we know P, which is 50 into 10 raised to 3 Newton per mm square, pi by 4 D2 square minus D2T. We have calculated D now. It is our calculation we have calculated at 10, right? So we use 10 into 66.6. Now in this formula, it is basically equation of second order with the only D. D2 is unknown. So with this we get D2 square is equal to D2 square minus 12.7. The equation we get D2 square minus 12.73 D2, right? Minus 954.88 is equal to 0. You can solve this second degree equation to get the different values of D2. Basically, equation you get D2 as 37.92. 37.92. So diameter of this we are doing the third step now. Diameter of this we got 37. So instead of 38, we will take is at 40 mm. So diameter of this we got as 40 mm. So we have write 40 mm. Will what we got? We write it down. I think this we got 10 mm, and this was 32 mm. Okay. So now slowly we are getting one dimension, and we are putting it one after another, right? Okay. Now this was the diameter of the spigot. Okay. Now let's go to the next. What is the next thing? Is basically the outer diameter of the socket, that is D1. For the socket, D2 is inner diameter, which is the basic diameter of the socket. Now we will try to find out diameter outer diameter of socket, which is basically D. Let me just write it here. Outer diameter of socket, which is D1. Okay, we will see whatever value we get. Okay, now we use this for the calculation. Okay, I want to collaborate. So now what is the power? This thing P is equal to pi by 4 D1 square minus D2 square. Pi by 4 D1 square minus D2 square. P is equal to, right? Minus D1 minus D2 into minus D1 minus D2 into D. We have seen the formula in the previous lecture into sigma into sigma D. Now this is the formula for calculation of the P. Pi by 4 D1 square minus D2 square minus D1 minus D2, right? Into sigma T. Now this is the formula for this is basically load of the socket. Now in this equation, what are the knowns and what are the unknowns? Let's try to put it there. 50 to 10 raised to 3 is equal to pi by 4. D1 we have to calculate. D1 square minus D2 we have calculated as 40 square minus D1 minus 40. T is 10 into sigma T. For this thing is what is the sigma T? I think is 66.67, right? Yes. 66.67. Now try to solve this equation. You will get basically D1 square minus 12.73 D1 square minus 12.73 right? Minus 2045. Now this minus b, how to solve this equation? It will be minus b root of x, like this, take minus b minus 12.73 minus b, right? Plus minus root of b square 12.73 square minus 4ac minus 4 into a into c 4 2043 minus into this thing is 1, right, divided by 2. So d1 we got, answer is 52.04. So it is above 52.04 mm. So we'll take d1 as 55 mm. So this thing we got 55 mm. So socket's outer diameter we got 55, inner diameter we got 40. Okay. Okay. Let me just quickly grab chart. In between we have finished the calculation of d1 and d2. Now next stage is basically the fifth is diameters of the spigot, collar and d3 and d4. Next stage is d3 and d4. What is d3? Spigot collar, and this is socket collar. Now those are 1.5D and 2.4D. d3 is 1.5D and d4 is 2.4D. Use the d value, we have calculated d as 32, right, in previous stage. So with that we will get 48 and 80, 76. This will be 48 mm and this will be 76.4 mm. Will take 80 mm. Okay. So these are the dimensions for 48 mm and 80 mm. So these are the dimensions we got for the. So now we got all the diameters. We got rod diameter d. We got for the socket, inner diameter is 40, outer is 55. For the spigot, diameter is 40, and for the collar of the spigot is 48, and this thing is 80 for socket. So we got all the dimensions, and now we will get A, C, and D. Now we have to find out first A, then width of the quarter, and then C. Okay. So next stage is basically finding out A and C. Let me just quickly grab the chart. Now how to calculate, we have calculated how, we need to calculate A and C, right? Now A is what? Is basically gap between A and quarter socket, then B is quarter width and C is from the quarter to the collar end, right? So A is equal to C is equal to 0.75D. Now we have to find out A, which is basically equal to C. A is equal to C is equal to 0.75D. Now it is 3/4 of here, so 8 4s are 32. I think 24 it should be, right? 24 mm. So your A is equal to C is equal to 24 mm. So this thing we got 24 mm. A is equal to C is equal to 24 mm. This is what we got. Now next stage is to find out the width of the quarter. This is the what is the most crucial thing, width of the quarter. Width of quarter, which is B. Okay, we'll see what we get. Now for B there are basically two. P is equal to two formulas we'll be using, and then we'll get B using one formula and we'll see whether it will fail or it will be successful in the next it will see whether it will fail or be successful. Okay. So first is B is equal to P upon 2, right, into T. So here we know B is equal to 50 to 10 raised to 3. Okay. 2 tau. Now this is for quarter. Now tau for quarter is different. Tau for quarter, how much we got? We got 50 into T we got is H. So this is in Newton per mm square. This thing is in mm. This thing is Newton per mm square. This thing is in Newton. This is in mm. So answer we should get it in mm. So B we get from this equation is 50 mm. This is the first equation. Okay. For the calculation of B, we have seen now. It will fail because of the bending, or it may fail because of the shear, right? So using one of those formulas, we have to either bending or shear. One of those it will fail. So this is as per the shear, this is the failure. Now for that, we will take a look at my previous lecture how it will fail in shear. Okay. Now next is failure because of the bending. P is equal to root of 3p. P is equal to root of 3p upon T sigma b into T sigma b into d2 by 4 plus d4 minus d2 by 6. This is the failure by equation. Now how this equation come? Take a look at my previous lecture how this equation come. Okay. Now we know here we have to calculate B. This is failure because of the shear. This is failure because of the bending. With the shear failure, we got B as 50 mm. With this, we'll get some value. We'll take maximum of these two. Okay. With this, we know P. So let's try to find it out. 3 into 50 into 10 raised to 3, right? Upon T 10 sigma B. Sigma B for bending was given. I think it was 100, right? Yes, it was 100. Then D2 I think 40 by 4 plus D4 we got as 80 minus 40 upon 6, right? So try to put those value and try to see what is the value we get. B as again 50 mm. So this is because it is same, it doesn't matter. So we got this thing as 50 mm. Let me see whether this thing is visible. Okay, yeah, it is visible in the video. Okay. So we have step by step. We have first found out the diameter of the rod D. Then we have found the thickness T. Then D2 diameter of the spigot, which is inner diameter of the socket, outer diameter of the socket. D3, D4 collar's diameter, and then AC and D. So we have found out all the dimensions which are required for the your quarter set. Okay. We have found out A, and then we have found out diameter of the all the diameters required. Right. So now what we'll do, we'll simply say whether it will in the crushing and shear, it will the spigot it will fail or not. Okay. Now dimensions are there. Now we have to simply say whether it will fail in the different criteria. First is the crushing and shear failure of the spigot. Okay. Spigot, crushing and shear. Now with this given whatever dimensions we have got, with those dimensions we have to find out whether it will fail or it will not in a different criteria. Sigma C is equal to P upon pi d2. Sigma C is equal to P upon pi d2. Okay. Now what is P? 50 into 10 raised to 3. What is pi into d2? What is d2? 40. So with this sigma you will get the unit is Newton per mm square is 125. And what was limiting stress for the sigma C? Limiting stress for sigma C was 133. So this sigma C, this whatever crushing strength we are getting is less than 133. So we say our design is safe. So it is safe for the crushing. Crushing stress we got is less than the allowable crushing strength. So it is design is safe in that case. Okay. And now tau is P upon 2AD2. Similarly, tau is P upon 2AD2. So here 50 into 10 raised to 3. Sorry, what is twice into A? How much you got? 24, and D2 is 40. So with this, we have tau shear stress we will get 26.04. 26.04. What is the limiting stress? For a spigot, limiting stress, shear stress for spigot was 33. It is less than 33 Newton per mm square. So our design is safe for the shear. The spigot will not fail because of the shear or because of the crushing. It will not fail because of any of those two. Okay. So this is the way, we will see whether it will fail for different criteria. Now we have checked the spigot. Now we will see crushing and shear of the socket. So similarly, socket A will see crushing and shear. Right. So what the way we saw the spigot, and similarly we will see it will whether the socket will fail in the crushing and shear. Now sigma c is P upon D4 minus D2 T. Sigma c is equal to P upon D4 minus D2 into T. Right. So with this formula, try to put the values. P is 50, D4 is 80 minus D is 44, drawing 40 into T is thickness we got 10. 50 upon 81, this is 40 into 400, 50 upon 400, so basically 50 to 10 raised to 3, 125 degrees. So we get sigma c is equal to 125 Newton per mm square, and it was 133, right? Allowable stress was 133. It is less than 133.33 Newton per mm square compressive stress. The design is safe for, so it will not fail because of the socket will not fail because of the crushing. So similarly, tau is P upon 2d4 minus d2 c. P upon 2d4 minus d2 into c. This is tau. Put the values. 15 to 10 raised to 3. 2 into d4. d4 80 minus 40 into c. 24. So what is the tau we get? The tau, with this calculation we will get the tau as 26.64, which is less than the limiting stress was 33, right? So it is less than 33.33 Newton per mm. So it will your socket will also not fail because of the shear or the crushing, right? So last stage now we have to do is, so basically with this dimension we have checked your design will not fail. Is your socket and your collar. See, all these we use in different formula we have found the dimension, and then using these dimensions we have checked whether the crushing or shear failure of your socket and your spigot end will happen or not. So last stage is thickness of the spigot collar, T1. T1 thickness of spigot collar. That one part is it's a small thing, but it was pending 0.45 T. T1 is 0.45 into T. So T you got was 32 into 0.45. 32. So the final value we'll get with this is 14.4. So T1 is 15 mm. So here only we write T1 is equal to 15 mm. Okay. So now we have got all the dimensions. Now with these dimensions we can draw the diagram. Then we can come up with a diagram, and we can come up with a final what you can say. You can say design is completed. Okay. Now this example gives you all the possible what you can say steps required for the design of the quarter. Now in the exam sometimes not all the time you will be given load and you will be asked to design the whole quarter. Sometimes you will be given the diameters, and then you have to find out the stresses, or you have to find out only B. But the steps will remain same. You need to understand there is a socket, spigot, quarter in between, how quarter will fail, how we have seen all different stresses in the quarter, your quarter, different stresses in your spigot, different stresses in your socket. So using those stresses, sometimes some part will be given, you will be asked to calculate the diameter D, or sometimes you ask to calculate B, width of the quarter. So you may be asked to do so many things depending on your different kinds of problems. But this is the procedure for design of the quarter design. So what is the steps we took? First we found out the diameter of the rod. okay, with the normal stress equation, tensile or compressive stress, direct stresses. With that, P is equal to sigma is equal to P upon sigma T is equal to P upon A is pi by 4 D square. So with that we found out the diameter of the rod. Okay. Then we found out the diameter of the, what you can say, thickness of the quarter T. For this we use empirical relation. Then we using the empirical relation we found out T, and then we use that T and D for the calculation of all that. The diameter of the spigot we found out. Diameter of the spigot is basically internal diameter of the socket, D2. Then we found out the D1, outer diameter of the socket. Okay. Now once we know D1, D2, then we can find out D3 and D4. Okay. For this we use empirical relations, and using this empirical relations we got a dimension, but we verified those with the crushing failure, crushing and shear failure check. Right. So these we are using for this, and this we are using empirical relations, but we are using verification of the crushing and verification in shear. We are using those formulas. We are verifying whether these dimensions are correct or not. If the empirical outputs you got are it is failing, then you have to modify or increase those dimensions, right? So then we got the D3 and D4 different diameters of the collars. Then we got A and C using empirical formulas, and using that we got B, the width of the quarter. Then we check for this whether the quarter will it will fail or not, and then ultimately we found out the thickness of the collar for the socket, right? So these dimensions, then using these dimensions we'll draw the diagram. We'll have the socket, spigot and quarter, and we'll complete the design. So this is the complete procedure of the design of a quarter sheet. Okay. So any doubt you have, any questions you have, I know you can put me in the WhatsApp or you can ask me in the chat. Okay. Thank you.